but it looks like this is how we build modern houses now. Much prefer an old school traditional way. Get involved in the comments. I'm just saying I don't like it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I'm not keen on it. I'm also not keen on that. Normally bracing is tied into the gable, and also can't see it here, but it's here. Down there, you see that gable strap? That should be hooked in, pulling the brickwork in, the blockwork in. The moment if those screws let go, that gable wall is gone. But there you go. What do I know? I don't do this anymore. I give up site work. Let's hope it lasts. What is up, YouTube? I'm Charlie, CP Carpentry Construction. I love teaching DIYers how a tradie does his job. So, context, I'm a carpenter builder, I call myself. I'm not a carpenter kitchen fitter, I'm not a carpenter joiner, none of that. I dabble in a little bit of everything, but yeah, there's a little brief bit in the middle of this video where I question whether something's finished. I've seen some straps in some funky places, I've seen some bracing in the roof, not touching the gable, not touching the outside of the wall. I've always been taught to touch the brickwork so that it's firm, it's wedged, it's rigid. But timber frame could be completely different. If I was doing the job, I would have touched the gable. But if the gable was not there in the first place, again, I'm not judging the person's work, I'm judging the final build. So please, if you do timber framing, or you feel you could do something different, get involved in the comments. And if your comment is gonna be, oh, why don't you use loft legs? C24 5x2s are, again, it depends on your usage. They're good for like 150 odd kilo, like bouncing on them. Well, you might overall put 150 kilo in the loft, but you're not going to spot load 150 kilo in one area in your loft. The plastic legs are all right, but they're not brilliant, they're not perfect. It only takes one of them to snap, and then like dominoes, off they go. You need to fix every single hole. It's a very modern way, and I'm a very old school kind of person, and yeah, get involved in the comments. Guys, I only know what I know, and I know no better than what I know. So please, if you feel you can educate me, if you're in the trade, educate me as much as I'm trying to educate DIYers how this person, me, goes about my day job, why I do things, offering context, la 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 la. If that sounds like something you'd love, smash subscribe, ring the little bell, stay tuned for upload notifications on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Friday nights. I try and go live. But this weekend, or this weekend just gone, I actually went live on Saturday because Friday night I was at a wedding. I'm trying to break away from the building life, and I'm trying to get into videography because I think I'm pretty good at this. You guys keep subscribing, so thank you to every single one of you that support me. Yeah, I want to get better, I want to learn more, I want to evolve, I want to progress in life, and I hope you guys do too. So if that sounds like something you'd love, click subscribe, smash the like button, and ring the little bell so you stay tuned for upload notifications. Guys, I'm chewing your ears off. Let's get into today's video on boarding a loft. I'll see you in the video. Peace! Right then guys, I've just spoke to the customer, we've got the all clear, we've got the okay, we are cool to YouTube. So I've just dropped that stuff off. I'll give a little bit of context to my morning commute. Sounds like something fell over. We have the beacons on, turn the beacons off. We've got the reversing camera, we need to set an example. Seatbelt is on, he's not gone back far enough. So here's an example of how far I like to commute to my jobs. And I do live in a village where there's, I don't know, 8,000, 14,000, I don't know, like how many people there are. Quite a few people, it's a big village. This is my average kind of commute. I'm gonna show you, right, I might as well talk about what I'm doing today. So there's a few different ways you can skin a cat. So I could overlap these joists today, or I could butt them up. I'm gonna show you a few different ways. You could do 600 centers and use thicker boards, but then you've got to lift more. So I'm opting for more joists that I can cut into manageable pieces over thicker, heavier boards. So I'm using 18mm chipboard instead of 22. If it wasn't such an awkward loft sort of situation to get up and into, then I'd probably be opting for thicker boards. But as easy as that, I'm back at my house. One does not like a commute. Let's load some boards. Previously run the wide angle lens, so this time I won't run that. That's the coat done with. Open up the garage and let's load up. Boards have sat in here for so long. Let's move that. VersaFlow M3 TR300 Plus Turbo VersaFlow. Oh, These are a little bit wobbly, but at 400 centers they won't be. And I can show you something else today. I've actually been waiting for a job to use this. That's a little damaged, so I'm going to move that one out of the way. The easiest way to do these jobs, guys, honestly, is if you think you need this much or you think you need that much, buy that much and some extra, and you should be good. Whew. Right, that's that. Finished. Lights out. One more thing. Today, I get to use this. This is a sick little tool. That is a record clamp. Is it a record? Yeah, record. This is an old school record clamp, and there's no school like the old school, and I'm the headmaster. That goes on your joists and clamps. Like that one should be sprung loaded, but it's a bit chewed up, let's say, in its old age. And then once I twist this, out she comes. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, she will push out and wedge my boards up nice and tight. So let's get some 80mm screws with a shank with a head so it pulls in tight, and I'm going to use 50mm screws to fix this. Big box of 550s. I'm probably going to need 2, and I'm probably going to need 2 boxes of them. Probably going to use, I don't know, there's 200 of those screws. It depends how much I screw it down. I may only go through one, but the 580s is crucial that I fix in every joist. You want the most strength you can possibly get. Let's go back to the job. Steps. Let's get the steps. So as long as you've got a handsaw, a tape measure, pencil, pair of steps, get it delivered. Or if you've got the kind of vehicle that you can safely transport this, or a trailer, you've got everything you need to do this job, I think. And a light, highly recommend a light. Lights are optional. Lights are not optional. Let's not go and put our foot through the ceiling. Lights are a must for safety. Breathing apparatus. If you wear a mask, I've got the cream of the cream of masks. I've got the Rolls Royce of masks. That is a gas filter. Gas filter? I'm not sure. Drop a link below. It's an incredible mask. It keeps me safe. This is where I slack with paper masks, and it's not until it's really bad I go for the full Rolls Royce mask. I should just wear paper masks and these. I'm waffling. Let's do the job. Right then, trying not to get too much personal stuff. So I've just set up the top. We now need a few joists at 1300 just to start us off. Oh, sneezing already at the loft job. Right, so I want 7, I think I said. Let's just think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll make this and what you're sat on into 7. Right guys, check out this awesome mask. I brought mine secondhand in a bit of a state, something like this, and compared to new, it's a hell of a saving. It's worth doing. But obviously I don't expect DIYers to be buying stuff like this, but I'm just showing you how much they are, and if you wanted to consider it, they are amazing. I can tell you, you are not safe if you let one go, as these tend to be clipped on your back. It will absolutely gas you out. But yeah, these are amazing. I highly recommend these to people in the trade. This is gonna sound weird. Right guys, so I set this up with the intention I'd put it in one place and you'd be able to see the whole build, but obviously over the course of 2 days the battery went flat, so apologies, this is not really set up in the best place for you to see what I'm doing here. But long story short, I know the trusses are 600 centers and I know I need to touch the gable wall and I want to span across everything, so I cut some joists, 7 of them to be precise, at 1300, and I knew I'd have a good start to get this deck down so that we could do the rest of the loft. Right, let's test out this low light. Looks like it's pretty good. So we have, let's switch this camera around. We have been going round and we have, can you see it? Yes, I've got a fixing in there and a fixing in that side. and then yeah, like a fixing there and that side. I try and do alternative fixings, just so then that gives that strength so it doesn't want to roll. I've now come across, there's 4x1 bracing on these trusses, and then these are gable straps. They're, I'm sure they're meant to be the other side of the block and tied in. We now have, right. Before the tradies get in the comments, I can obviously see that's rocking, you can see that's rocking, but seeing that the standard is set by the strap being on the wrong side of the block work, I'll take that as a win. Beautifully flat joists. So I've started up this end, I'll stand up so you guys can see where I'm at. You're going to be blinded by the light and go, oh no, that is a pretty good camera. So I'm doing 400 centers. I want the most strength possible. I want to spread the load as much as possible. I could do 600 centers. You could do 600 centers at home, but if you're going to put stuff up here that's heavy, and for context, I have no clue what's coming up here. Only you guys as customers know what you're going to put in your loft. I just make it to the best of my ability. So yeah, just got one more there to put on, and yeah, this one. So I've just been down, and these are ripped. I've ripped the end off. So I'm screwing them down, and like here, I'm screwing them into the trusses so that then once the boards are on top, it's then got no chance of rolling, and it'll be super strong. Stay tuned for more. There we go, we're on. Right guys, starting to make a bit of a deck. Hope you're enjoying the time lapse. I'm now going to be moving my way that way, so hopefully you'll see more, and I'll definitely try and explain more in the next coming bits. But for the moment, I need to shift all of this insulation, and for that, I'm going to want that mask on. And then I'll have to see what happens. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to come beside my existing joists and come out to here, so this 1800 is short. It really wants to be like 1870, but 1850 will suffice. And I want 5 at 1850. No, I don't. 1, 2, 3. I want 3 at 1850, because then here is my loft hatch. They will then want to be like 1250. Let's go good at it. What do we think then, guys? We're currently up to here, and as you can see, look, we're whacking the insulation in. I've just put the ladder in. I think I've done 500 dips this morning. Came out with David Goggins. I'm due to be massive by the morning. Unfortunately, what I do is fatigue, and I don't do much. I kind of wish the YouTube would pay more, and very much in a bit of pain at the moment. Squatted this morning, and I've just come back from holiday. For context, for those guys that are regulars with the channel and keep up with me, yeah, I've only just recently come back from holiday, so this is a massive shock to the system. But anyway, we live and we learn and we move on. So yeah, if I show you guys down here, you can see we're getting all of our joists in, and we're getting insulated. I'm now going to pick up all of this out here, transfer it to over here, and then I can continue doing all of my joists over there to the wall, insulate, and then a massive straight run. Fingers crossed. Then I've got a light to put in. I'm just going to put some battens, some noggins across here, and a 4-foot batten, 6-foot batten, and then we're just going to power it up down here on a socket. That way there's no minor works, nothing like that. It's the same as you guys buying a light on a plug. It's fused down, it's safe, and it's simple. Stay tuned. Also this. I don't have the plan, so I can't say this is good, bad, or not, but traditionally you'd have your block work, and this would come up here. And that's a 100mm block. So now as all you've got is probably 18mm. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I bet that's 18mm structural grade 3 OSB all along this wall. Cavity of 100, maybe 150mm. Celotex, rock wool, whatever it is. And then you've got that outer skin. Whereas if this was traditional, you'd have all of that block work in there, and that'd all be solid for strength and for thermal properties. But it looks like this is how we build modern houses now. Much prefer an old school traditional way. Get involved in the comments. I'm just saying I don't like it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I'm not keen on it. I'm also not keen on that. Normally, bracing is tied into the gable, and also, can't see it here, but it's here, down there. You see that gable strap? That should be hooked in, pulling the brickwork in, the blockwork in. The moment, if those screws let go, that gable wall is gone. But there you go. What do I know? I don't do this anymore. I give up site work. Let's hope it lasts. joist, pray there's a joist, pray there's a joist. So that there, this should be hooked on the back here. So if the wind pushes, it pushes up against this. And if the wind was to blow, like come up through there or come up through the vents where it breathes and build like positive pressure in here and want to like push out, then that should be hooked, pulling that wall in. I mean, don't need to worry about it really, do you? There's that not actually a wall. There's the insulation just to stop the fire break, or I assume, I don't know, I ain't got the plans in my hand. It looks like it's acting like a fire break. And then 2 layers of this, 2 layers. And where they met in the middle and needed to lap the joint, really, not my build. I'd never build like this. There we go.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come 1 in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter.
Right, last sheet, and I thought I'd show you my special little gadget. Sit you guys down. So, as I'm doing all of this, and as we're getting to the end of the video, I'm making sure I tuck all of my insulation down. Because if it nips the bottom edge that I can't see it. So bring it up like that, and then just nip that like that. And then I'll gently bounce that over there. But as well as that, I've got this cool thing. With these like nip on a joist. So if I do this, as that nail rolls round, if I don't know what this is going to pick up. So you guys see this joint here? Hopefully you guys can see it. No more. That will push that up so tight and keep the boards nice and tight. And there's no right or wrong way you fix this. Ideally you want to be like an inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches in. The front edge, sometimes I come 4 inches in, because if I come too close to the front edge and pull that front lip down and then I can't tuck the next board under, you create problems for yourselves. So I also try and remind myself that every now and then I changed what side of the joist I was. So if you can stay in one place, stay in one place, guys. It will definitely help you later on. And then that's that little record clamp that works wonders. Now let's flip you guys. Right, so now to do this, all I want to do really is just touch that top joist. And I'll just measure to this tongue, not to this edge, this tongue. And I've got enough leeway to play with it. And this one I can't start over here and slot in, so this one's going to have to be slack. So if I do 6, 7, 5, it should be all good. 6, 7, 5, let's have it. And I want it off that end. Getting into the rounds of some big cuts now. Where are we? 6, 7, 5. That's good. Guys, if you don't have a track saw and track, nothing stops you clamping a piece of wood, spirit level, and just running your skill saw or using a handsaw or a jigsaw up the edge. It's just obviously a jigsaw and a handsaw is going to be a bit wavy, but that doesn't mean it's a bad job. It just means it's a little rougher in the edges. It will still suffice. It will still be just as good as my job. And yeah, you haven't got to pay me. And I haven't got to sweat in a great big loft like this. Let's get this last one in. Can't use this anymore. Tuck it out of the way. I need to get this the correct way. I've also, I've had to leave a notch here so I can get that ducting, that insulated ducting in there for the bathroom. We're going to tuck that down under there and pull it back on this bit. If you can't get it in with your hands, you don't want to mess your hands up, just do this. Be very careful where you stand, guys. If you can't see a joist or something solid, do not put your weight down, because you will put your leg through the ceiling, and you don't want that. Oh no. Right, little rip, and then I'm going to get hold of all these bits of insulation and just tuck it in these pockets in between the webs of the roof trusses. Hold on to these for a sec. Right then guys, when we get to the last few cuts, here's the goal. So I'm measuring from the wall to this lip, this edge. I've also got my board in the same position as if I was just going to go parallel straight up and in. So 21, right here I've got 200, and then up here 195. So I think I should just do, I don't know, 195 all the way. Don't know. That might look a little bit funny. How can I cut this with you guys being able to see? Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to stand in front of the camera because I'm right-handed. Right, stand up. Twist this over here. Now hopefully I can let go of this. Oh, look at that. Right, now that that's in there, nipped up, now I need the screws that you guys are sat on. Where's the tape? So I want 810 by 195. Right, here we go. So now then, at the end of the day, if the joints do not fit, fill them with glue and maybe skip this part, DIYs if you've got soft hands, or wear gloves, but for me, I've got hands like leather. Check this out. So I get this, and then we have a sweep up, and then our flooring looks amazing. Right, let's have a sweep up.